told I would never say it would have ended like this. Oh, we went down on a limb, now we're standing in the middle of a mess. Go on and tell your friends but me and my friends weren't good enough, weren't good enough. Go on and tell your friends but me and my friends weren't good enough, weren't good enough, weren't good enough. Oh, oh, I never wanted this turn. Oh, 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 I never wanted this turn. Oh, 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 just every night. Here we go, on and we'll never end. Is what you want. Gotta go, slowing down just won't make the cut. Doesn't work like that for us. So we go. Go till that point was rooms too big.
Hello, 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 hello. Hi, hello, greetings, salutations, hello. May not have been a bit bored. Today, we're going to be using the Ropa DLC. We're going to be using the Kyler, and we're going to be harvesting some potatoes because if you guys remember, I nearly forgot, but if you guys remember, the music's a bit loud. If you guys remember, I actually have a field of potatoes up over here that has never been touched. Or that I planted a long, long time ago, and it just wasn't touched since. So I figured today is as good a day as any to do it, seeing as Ropa is now out. We've got cool new equipment to use, and I really like this harvester. I genuinely like this thing. Do I have shaders on? Yes, I am using Reshade. You might have noticed that it was disabled for this morning's video for or last night's video, I guess. The spotlight of Ropa. That was just so that I gave the fairest opinion I could and didn't have, basically didn't have shaders wonking everything up. So let's get this thing unfolded. It's almost as if this field of potatoes was made with the plan of this, yes. Which actually it kind of was, and I was going to do it, and I completely forgot it was there. Hello Rallyman, hello Bill, hello Yanis, hello Blacker Gaming, hello Alexander Lewis. I do love it when I just completely forget things are there. Hello Aaron Fahy, the fake Fahy. Finnish Farmer, hello Yuso, I believe your name is. So one thing that I tried to point out but couldn't really in the spotlight was this thing is self-leveling. This was something Landy was telling me and being very amazed by, is that the harvester itself is self-leveling, which I don't think we've seen on a trailer before in Farm Sim. Also, I know that I'm technically harvesting this in the wrong direction, but just deal with it. It's your real name? Yeah, but you're not real Fahy. Oh, Milo Valley Farms. Now, this is obviously, it's not MR yet. Obviously after just coming out. Now, I remember, I try to when I can. Does Reshape make everything a touch on the dark side? It does darken the game quite a lot, yeah. But quite honestly, like, I think it looks more realistic. I think it looks a lot closer to what you would see. And granted, it is sunny, so it shouldn't be this dark, but kind of an overcast day. Do I know what's going to be in FS19? Not a clue. Hello, AC. Hello, it's Sean Kelly. I don't have a clue what's going to be in FS19. As soon as I know, you'll know. Probably looks better on the screen than you watching a mobile. Yeah, I can't imagine it looks very good on a mobile, because mobile screens tend to be a bit weird with colours. Let's spin this thing around so it's pointing in the right direction. Yeah. Downside of this thing is it is hella long. It is super long. But with the fact that it tops as well as harvests kind of cuts down the workload for doing potatoes. There's going to be a Fendt Combine FS19. Yeah, that's the Fendt Ideal. Which, that's going to be interesting to see, because I finally saw the high res of the screenshot there, I think yesterday or the day before, because I've been horrific at keeping up with things. That's going to be really interesting to see what detail that's in, because like this is incredible detail for FS17. The entire Europa DLC is incredibly detailed. So it's kind of hinting that Giants are going maybe towards more realism with the detail work, which I can completely do with like more realistic looking equipment over, we'll say, more realistic physics. Because Giant, you know, Farm Sim is an arcade game, and that's what they've decided to do, and it's their decision. What time am I streaming until? 7 o'clock. Landy should, in theory, be streaming after me today. Tried to have a chat with him about something earlier. Oh, Bill! That email I sent a couple of weeks ago, I sent a follow-up yesterday because I got no reply. And, I got some good news after. I got some good news back. Not 100% the news that I was hoping for, but I got some good news, and Bill knows what I'm talking about. I'm, again, as I tend to be, intentionally vague about this, because it's something that I don't want to talk about publicly just this moment. Yeah, I'll send you a message on Slack later. I actually have a question for you as well. That I thought up at 1:30 this morning and thought I wouldn't be the douchebag that messaged you at 1:30 in the morning. I might be nocturnal, but that doesn't mean everybody else should be. Hello, Fahy. I need to talk to you after the stream as well, Mr. Fahy. Because some things have happened that I'm keeping kind of on the down low. Ah, yes, I should really continue with that, shouldn't I? This entire... Tell Pure Farming succeed. Yeah, because they totally... I totally want them to succeed, seeing as they wouldn't give me a key. I am that petty. In all seriousness, though, I'd like to see, like... Here's the thing, I'd like to see somebody go up against Giants and do it in a way that means they've actually done their research and done kind of their bookkeeping and research things. It's good news, Fahy. I can't say any more than that. There's a tractor in the background, the FS90B. Yes, it's a Fendt. It's a Fendt, I think 700 or something similar. So Giants aren't hiding something. Where did I put I'll just put this in here for the time being. Where did I put the big... oh, the big trailer's going to be too big. Where did I put the 14-ton dumper? Actually, would the Fiat not be a better choice for this? Yeah, the Fiat would. Where is the Fiat? There's the Fiat. Let's put this away. Faye's gonna be incredibly pleased that I'm actually putting this away, instead of just abandoning it out in the middle of the yard. I do, however, need to find the 14-ton dump trailer, because I can't remember where I put it. They're hiding the DLC, though. The size of the wreck, yeah. It is a bit big for the tractor, but it works. By the way, I was doing some maths last night, because that's the kind of thing that I do in my spare time, apparently. I was talking in a video about the Pro-C tram lines being in the wrong positions. I actually did some maths and some thinking and stuff like that, because of course I did. And I worked out that actually the tram lines are in the correct place. It's actually allowing for an overlap. Where is the dumper? Oh, it's down over here somewhere? Ah, there it is. By the way, I was looking at yesterday's stream after the fact, just really quickly, because I wanted to have a look at the way chat replay works, and that is really cool. That is incredibly cool. I like that. YouTube, you did a good thing. Also, because I'm kind of covering things from yesterday, and just covering up some extra, or not covering up, covering some of the stories that kind of happened yesterday. The random ban thing, as I turn off the money cheat. The random ban thing that was happening, I sent YouTube a tweet, or Team YouTube a tweet. They replied saying, okay, use the reporting tool on YouTube. I sent off a report, but I haven't heard anything back since. So, I don't know if they're looking into it, which I presume they are, or what's going on there. I'm completely clueless, so you know, same as what I said yesterday. If you get randomly banned and you know you shouldn't be, you kind of have permission to create a second account and come back onto the stream. Well, I thought it was just a random glitch, but when it happened to 2 other people, that's when I realized, no, that is not a glitch. That is a... Come on. That is a bit more severe than I thought. This button. You can actually tilt this for some reason. I don't exactly know why you want to. Let's get the trailer in underneath. And it should fill up fairly quickly with potatoes. In fact, it's... The trailer is not as big as the harvester, as it turns out. Because that's the trailer full. I'm gonna actually leave the trailer full there. Oh yeah, I gotta put the pipe in. I'm going to intentionally leave the trailer there because I want to make a potato pile in this field. Do I really want to do that? Is that really a good idea? I think so. Then looks like a box filler, and it could well be. Yeah, they might well be confused by this problem that I've been experiencing. But I've told the guys that stream that, hey, this is a thing. just be aware of it. And it's all fun and games until somebody gets randomly banned without any warning by YouTube and not by any of the mods. So it seems like MR does have some sort of effect on the potato on this thing, because it should be going 11 Ks, but it's only going 9. I want to spin around if I've got the space. I don't have the space. Ah! Come on! Spin around. Be nice to me, be nice to me, be nice to me, be nice to me. The joy of turning axles. What about using the immigrator? See, the thing I strongly dislike about the potato boxes... I'm not gonna say hate. But the thing I strongly dislike about them is that they have a habit of glitching if you get more than just a few of them, and they occasionally will just decide to ping off into the ground. And I have a bit of a vendetta against the way the conveyors work in FS17 anyway. I think that they could have been implemented a lot better than they were. Yes, they're convenience for... You're jealous. Ian, it is out on Steam now, I believe. Somebody was saying that it was downloaded for them through Steam already. Hello, Landwirtschaft HD. Or HD. How am I? I'm very good. How are you doing? I think I'm getting more stuck in this tree instead of less stuck. Hey! Yours is broken. Possibly. Then again, I could be wrong and could have got confused about something. But I get smart at these things and I buy through giants because, number one, because YouTube is my job, need to have a video out as quickly as possible, just for professionalism reasons. Which, by the way, is why my video was a bit kind of haphazard and everywhere, because I really was just trying to get it done as quickly as I possibly could. And number two, I can predict with accuracy and have it for the stream the next day at the very least. The downside is I'll never get automatic updates through Giants, which is a bit of a shame. I'd almost like to see Farm Sim through Giants having a launcher where it tracks what you have. But that'd be extra work for Giants to do, and I don't think it'd be. I don't think the rewards would be as much as, or as much for them as they would be for the community. Because they're already kind of integrating everything into the game as is. Hello, Rusty Dave. How are you doing today? Oh, I've got stuck in a different tree now. This is the problem with ridiculously long equipment, is you just get stuck in every tree. I'm gonna get stuck in a tree. Okay, let's put it out like... No, I think I have now jammed it completely. Okay, let's try... Yeah, it is now completely stuck. Very tired with no motivation. Drink coffee and do it and I'll give you a cookie. Whatever you're trying to get motivated to do. Chainsaw time? That's... yeah. Because you see, there's this big meadow here that's not being used for anything. And I feel like it's okay if I just dump potatoes down here as well. Without scooting forwards. Oh, Tommy Riley. There we go. Just the bough, not the whole tree. The thing is, I can't see where it's stuck. It could actually be stuck on the trunk of the tree. And just in case I do actually need to reset it if it is stuck particularly badly. Let's see what's stuck on here. It's not stuck on anything. No, it's stuck on something over there. Where's the T7? There we go. What is it stuck on? Because you see, the thing is, I can walk through here perfectly fine. Even well, that's fine. That works too. It magically just freed itself. Hello, Tommy. Yeah, or just drive it out because it's randomly decided it's not actually stuck. And then get the other tractor stuck. Because I am that level of genius. Come on. Heave! Right. Back to the potato harvest. I do this is a strange thing. I do genuinely like this harvester. I thought I wouldn't. I thought I'd see it I thought I'd see it as kind of pointless, because it does fill the same kind of gap as the Grimmer, but the fact that this thing tops as well is really actually very useful, because you don't need two tractors in the field at all times. And my question is, how will Courseplay deal with this thing? Should you get the DLC? The better question is, do you want Ropa? Glad. Like, do you want the Ropa stuff? If you do, then yeah, buy the DLC. If you don't, then, well, most of it does the same jobs. It is slightly different and does have different capacities, and it, you know, there are key differences to the stuff that's already in game, but at the end of the day, they do the same jobs. By and large. The Navarro Mass is the only thing that has a unique job, and that is basically some conveyor belts. So it's really... The question shouldn't be, do you want or should I buy the DLC? It should be, do you want Robo? This is the last DLC for FS17. No idea, honestly. There are at least 2 more. Or we believe there are 2 more. And they will be... Yeah, it is just a new level of detail. That's... It does seem like... this might just be me saying this. And obviously I can't access the files. It does seem like the textures are 4K. They're definitely... They definitely seem more crisp than the default in-game textures. And the models are just kind of that next level up of progression from the FS17 stuff. Did I say FS15 textures? Hello, hard worker. How are you doing today? So I am kind of doing a hodgepodge with this field, and I realize I'm doing a hodgepodge with this field, but I want to kind of get an area up here cleared so that I can start dumping the potatoes into the field itself, as opposed to working around different... This is going to get stuck on fans. That has just made me think about something. Well, nuts both. There's a lot more modelled than usual. I wonder. I wonder if there's a slim chance that I wasn't actually getting stuck on a tree at all. You don't do root crops enough to justify it. Yeah, I mean that's always going to be the thing with the root crop DLCs. Not many people do it enough. Can a tractor pass through there? No. I'm gonna have to test this on a magic hedge. I think it's got a I think it's coded in as effectively a combine header, which means that I was actually getting stuck on the hedge, not the tree, and there was nothing I could do to get out of that without actually driving it out. So that's the new question I have is this basically a combine header? See, now I need to find out. Now my curiosity's got the better of me. Come on, magic hedge. Please let this be a magic hedge, by the way. I'm just gonna kind of slow down. Okay, magic hedge. That passes through. Okay, so there was something stopping it in there. But it's not the collision mask. I think that's the name of it. Bill, correct me. It is definitely interesting to see to try out new things. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This is going to be what I'll be like at the start of FS19, I am sure of it. Collision mask. Hey, I was correct. That's a first. I was going to call it the Hitty Face, but I don't think the Hitty Face would have been the correct name. I was pretty sure Hit Me in the Face was the wrong name for it. Also, please don't hit me in the face. By the way, I didn't mention it until now, but we are at pretty much 7,500 subscribers now, which is amazing. That's the technical term, yes. I come up with these things, and I'm like, this would be so funny if so-and-so did this as a joke in the game. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, no, that would be a terrible idea, because I could just imagine the amount of people that it would annoy. And most of them, and I mean no disrespect to Daggerman by saying this, most of them would be subscribed to Daggerman because, oh, you're not allowed to make a joke, you have to be serious all the time. I hate those people! They're just like, no, it's a game, you're supposed to have fun. Don't know what to get, pure farming or Ropa. I decided on Ropa. I can't justify the cost of pure farming. Having spoken to Landy a lot about it, I don't think pure farming is as good as people think it will be. There's a lot that doesn't interest me, there's a few things that do. What do I think of the DLC? I think it's really good. I think it's like, it's a root crop DLC, so there's going to be a lot of people who just aren't going to buy it because they don't do root crops enough. I probably shouldn't have bought it. I don't do root crops enough, but you guys know that I like showing off the DLCs, and I like... I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a completionist with Farm Sim. I like having all the DLCs. I like having everything. Or everything that Giants brings out anyway. Because I think Giants are going in a very good direction with the way they're moving. They're listening to the community a lot more. They're talking to the community a lot more. Back in FS13, FS15, my biggest criticism of Giants was that they just didn't communicate. And their communication was almost zero. But in the last 2.5 years, pretty much, that communication has gone through the roof. And I'm so happy to see Giants doing it, because lack of communication can really damage a game. And Giants were running that risk the way they were going. Feel like you have the stuff at home already. For the most part, they do fill the same gaps. That potato harvester, there is nothing like it in game currently. Yes, there is a 2-row potato harvester, but it does not top the potatoes before harvesting. The Navarro mouse, I guess you could argue that the conveyors are kind of the same thing because they can pick up almost everything. Personally, I think the Navarro mouse is a bit more useful. Because you don't need a tractor to get dedicated to moving it around. You can just drive it around and shuffle it about as you want. Also, yes, I am now filling in the gap in the middle of this pile, because it will annoy me otherwise. There... Oh no! How have I got this stuck? Right, let's use the old farm sim trick. When in doubt, spam attach and detach, and you will jiggle it free. I've also forgotten to put this back on and turn those off. I'll just turn the bottom one on, want that off. You want a forestry DLC, why put it in the game if they don't pay attention to it? Yeah. But, I mean, the same argument could be made about the livestock farming. Why is there no livestock DLC? Well, because there's no real point. All the equipment you need is already in the game. And if Giants were to put even more in, it would require more licenses, which is more money. And to be honest, I don't think many people would buy forestry DLCs. I don't think the interest is there in forestry in Farm Sim. It's a bit of a shame. I think the big issue with forestry is how it works. I think it was... I don't want to say simplified. If it was made more accessible to everybody, and if the controls were a bit better, and if the log grabs actually grabbed well, then yeah, I'd put an argument in for a logging DLC, a forestry DLC. But the way things work at the moment, there's kind of... I think there's still some work that needs to be done on the basics of it. Because it's got a good grounding, but it you know, good but could do better, I guess, would be my report card on forestry. You know, shows some signs of improvement. The class stealers arrived. Oh dear. But like, I'm not gonna say it has no place in the game. I think it could be expanded upon. I think there could be more to do with forestry. Because right now it's literally just like, you either sell the logs or you make it into wood chips and sell the wood chips. I think there should be something in between where you can, like, I don't know, sell firewood or something as a kind of a starter thing, and you get an axe and you chop down small trees and make firewood out of it or something. But DLC what I'd like to see next before FS19. Mad XJS's Classics DLC. Like that's what I want in the game now. Is just the classics. That's something that I'm genuinely hyped about. That. You back with a coffee? You didn't make me one, Yanis. You didn't even offer. How rude of you. But Matt's Classics DLC has got me genuinely excited. I believe in the proposal, the date for it was March 29th, but I don't know if the date's changed. We'll get some form of confirmation from Giants closer to the date of release, I'm sure. And we'll get information and stuff like that. And you know, I'm really looking forward to that stuff, because it's stuff that I see. Like, I see tractors and equipment from the 80s and 90s on a near daily basis. In fact, there's a tractor that drives around quite commonly. I think it's from the late 70s. Just drives up and down past my house. It's not letting you check. Yes, it is, Archie. No, it won't be free. It won't be free, Rafal. You're around €9. Oh, that's a bit more than I was expecting. I was expecting the €5 to €8 range. How do I get this free? There we go. Are we now, Chris? You'd happily pay more? I would as well. Like, I'm not complaining about the price. It's the one DLC where I genuinely will say money is no object for me. I will pay as much or as little as Giants want me to pay for that thing, because I just want it. Plus, I mean, Matt gets royalties and commission for the DLC, so it's definitely a good way to support him as a modder. You know, that it's rare that you get Giants allow modders to release DLCs, and I think it's probably the best prize they could have given for the mod contest was just the chance to release a DLC. Yeah, percentage of profits goes to Matt. So, like, even if you don't like the equipment that's in it, if you like the T-dubs, if you like supporting modders, then maybe give it a shot. Give it a shout, because it's probably for the first time, other than, well, yeah, and he's done it solo. It's a one-man crew doing it. But other than like Patreon and PayPal donations, which I believe Bill and a lot of other modders do accept. And by the way, guys, do donate to your favorite modders if they've got a PayPal or if they've got a Patreon. Do help support them, because I mean, they make awesome stuff effectively for free. If I had money to spare, I would totally send some over to some of my favorite modders. Have we heard any more about FSI Modding's DLC? No. That's another root crop DLC, which is a bit odd. He obviously, like, has Pat open to what, pal, Chris? Like, I'm sure if Matt asked for help, there would be no shortage of people that would help. Oh, John, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised with that, actually. But it's fair to say 90% of the work is Matt. 30-50 hours a week. Oh my god. It's the amount of time I put into sleeping. Am I gonna make a map? Working on it. But with like a million different things constantly coming up, I don't have much time to work on it. I worked out the other night that it has 70. The map I'm making has 75 fields, which is quite a lot. As a full 2x using the full canvas, some stuff I want to rework on it as well. I've got, I think, 50-ish fields to find currently. I'll get through to the rest in time. 30 to 50 hours that he's actually managed to keep track of. Probably another 30 or so that he hasn't. Adibu, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Giants released Ropa because FSI isn't coming. I think Giants released Ropa, and I'm gonna stick with the story that I've been working from this entire time, because Homer is their license is running out. The Giants need a replacement for Homer, so Ropa's coming in to do that. That's my theory. That's what I've been working off for the last little while. I accidentally ran this over because I wasn't paying attention because I was tabbed out. And even if I'm wrong, you know, it makes more sense than Giants bringing out a DLC and paying out money for licenses, because somebody else couldn't make a DLC for a pre-licensed product. It's interesting. Homer doesn't own Ropa Blash. They're two completely separate companies. I don't know where you got this information that Homer owns Ropa from, but that's wrong. I'd be much more inclined to believe that building anything else, because with as much, yeah, the guy who owns Ropa used to work for Homer and he created the company, but Homer doesn't own Ropa. that is not true and was never true. Looking at the quality of FSI's mods, I would not be too surprised if Giants are a bit worried. Because, I mean, V1 of their mods always has some major performance problem. Whether it's the LT Master and the ridiculous amount of polys, the Fiat Crawler, which has inexplicable issues and kind of doesn't work all that well because they've done something a bit wrong with the wheels or something. You saw some pictures saying Homer Company, but it was Ropa on the picture. Maybe it was an old picture. Homer never owned Ropa. What you probably saw was somebody photoshopping something to confuse people, and they did well because you fell for it. The seed... oh god, the seed bags. Speaking of seed bags, come to think of it, I downloaded, is it Jolly Ranchers, or I've forgotten his name again. The seed bags he put up on the mod hub. They are quite good. I like them. They go really well with the transit van. Like, granted, they're tiny, but that's the Jolly Dodger. I was gonna say Jolly Rancher. I was like, no, that's not correct. That can't be right. Jolly Dodger, yeah. His bags. They're little bags. They're not big bags, but they work. They look fantastic. Great for like hyper-realism maps. If you want to be like hyper-realistic, those. I think they're 250 liters per bag. Those bags are pretty much what you'd be wanting to get. And the transit flatbed just works. I've made absolute hames of this corner of the field. I won't be doing potatoes for the rest of this stream, by the way. I do want to go back over to do more seeding. So we'll do that. Joe, we'll do that now. We'll head over to do more seeding now, because this is going to take an age otherwise. I might rent a huge humongous piece of equipment to do the rest of that field. You can turn off too. I might rent the big Grimmer to do the rest of this field. The downside of the small equipment, while it is lovely to look at, is a pain in the butt to use because it just takes so long. And apparently the oats have started growing, which is less than ideal. It's 7 I want. And ooh, it's remembered the track I was on. Fan-dabby-loozy. It's remembered everything, wow. Hello, Bobcat and Callum. How am I? I'm doing good. So let's get this seeding up. And yeah, we aren't kind of technically running over the pre-planted oats, but that's fine. It's a new DLC worth getting. If you want it, yes. If you don't, maybe not. Maybe wait until it's on sale, if you're unsure. I've got shaders on. Yes, I've got reshade going. Hello, Jake. I do like how reshade looks in game, I will be honest, because I mean, if I do this and then take the HUD down, it does look really good. It looks kind of it looks a lot more realistic than the game without the blurs, which is why I use reshade. Yeah, Jamie, I believe the date has changed since the DLC proposals went in. Or maybe wait until it's in FS19. Yeah, I mean, there's always that. It will most likely be in FS19, so if you're not sure about roping now, just wait. Hello, Tuda King. Toad King. Oh my god. You can tell no difference. I'll send you some screenshots later, Facial, so you can see the difference. Oh, I forgot to send you the, whatever I was meant to send you last night. Send me a message on Discord, Facial. Remind me. Shout at me. The season's going to be starting in FS19. Let me phrase this so that I don't get shouted at by somebody. I wouldn't be too surprised if there's a basic version of Seasons in FS19. There is no announcement one way or the other whether Seasons is or isn't going to be in, but it would in no way surprise me if there's a basic version in there. That's probably the way to phrase it so nobody shouts at me at all. There's the difference in 480p. Yeah, but Fahy can't watch 480p because he's got Spudnet. 240 is literally the best Fahy can watch. Dragon isn't working on Seasons, Giant Speed doesn't work. Yeah, the new missions sound interesting. Because I've always found the mission system kind of lacking. It's just like, deliver this here, deliver that there, mow this, mow that. It's kind of And then if it's 17, it was kind of a mix. If I remember right, I might be wrong. If it's 17, it was the contractor stuff, which, granted, was an improvement. But it still kind of felt like it was lacking. It still feels like it's lacking even with the contractor missions. Do you know what? That could be it, Dave. That would be so hilarious. Is like everybody's disappointed no matter what because it's like, no, we're not actually announcing a brand, guys. Sorry, it's actually that we're gonna have seasons in. That would be so hilarious, and I would be so happy because that would be the ultimate accidental troll. And you guys know I love trolling, so I mean, this stuff I like. I like the accidental trolls. Thousands of John Deere fans will cry out in agony. You will sense the disturbance in the force, as if thousands of John Deere fans would suddenly and drastically become sad because John Deere isn't going to be an FS19. That's the thing, like, no matter what Giants announce, it's going to disappoint people because unless it's like FS19 is going to be VR, everybody's going to get a free VR headset with a copy of the game. You know, John Deere class and Kubota will all be in. Seasons will be in. They're going to disappoint people no matter what they say. Unless they say, yeah, you'll actually get a real world, real life, actual tractor with every copy of the game. There's no way to please everybody. Hello, River Johnson. By the way, that's not going to be the E3 announcement, or at least, if it is the E3 announcement and people get free tractors, I'm buying like 6 copies and hoping for 135. Very offending game, yeah. I'd like to see Class. I think they've got more to bring to the table than John Deere in terms of the unique equipment Class could bring, because a lot of John Deere stuff. Now, I might trigger some people by saying this. A lot of John Deere stuff is just kind of it's repainted from other brands. Like you got the W330, I think it is just a sample Rosenlu combine. The John Deere mowers are just repainted Coons. Henrik's kind of nailed it as like, licensing is a hassle. Licensing is expensive. So maybe don't expect Giants to have every brand that you love just because you want it. Because it can cost an absolute fortune to license these things. Your 724 is on order. But that, you know, that's the thing, is like how disappointed will people be when or if, I should say if, the announcement isn't John Deere. I don't expect it to be, so I said when, but I don't expect it to be. I think Class is more likely. I think Class will be a better announcement in terms of things coming to the game. Yeah, there's so much that they could change that, or they could announce, that it's impossible to guess what the announcement will be, which is kind of the point. Where's E3? LA, as always. I think it's always in LA. But I'll probably be watching it and being super snarky about everything. I'll probably make a room in Discord just for E3 so that I can have maximum snark and maximum sass on the go. Because that's my favorite bit about E3, is seeing all these AAA developers coming out of the woodwork and all this kind of stuff, and it's like they're showing off all of these amazing games, and you just look at it and you're like, there is no way a PS4 is doing that. That's on a PC and that's pre-rendered. Jamie, that's a Fent. that is a Fent 700 or I guess maybe a 900, but it's a Fent. You're seeing what you want to see again. That's the other thing, Dave, that people seem to forget, is if John Deere came in, there'd be a lot less brands because John Deere would throw their weight around and say, well, we're John Deere, we don't have to be with you, and they just kind of force a lot of brands out. Is Robo worth it? Yes and no. Landy asked me like what I thought after I recorded my spotlight last night, because I came, I was in TeamSpeak, went out to record the spotlight, came back in, and he asked me, so what do you think? And I said, I don't know what I think. I'm very neutral. I don't think it's the worst DLC in the world ever. I don't think it's the best DLC in the world ever. I think it's worth your money if you want the Ropa stuff, if you think it's interesting, or if you got, even if you want like 1 or 2 bits of equipment out of it. The potato harvester and the Noaro mouse are really good for doing what they do. So I mean, maybe you want them just for the sake of having them. Maybe you're completionists. There's so many reasons why you might want it. Can John Deere class afford to not be in the game? Well, the big question is, and this is what I think the real question is which one will go first? Which one will join first? Because whoever joins first gets to say, well, we weren't last. It looks good, but I mean, if you don't do root crop, there's not really much of a point. The Noaro mouse is good as a utility kind of thing. What I think is the best DLC Giants released out of 13, 15, and 17. Granted, it was free in 13 and 15. I personally, just because of my own tastes, would say the classics, because it had really nice small equipment, and I used quite a lot of it. I used it quite a lot back in 13. But yeah, probably paid DLC is probably like JCB. It's probably JCB or maybe Big Bud, because Big Bud brought in some really interesting stuff. Like Big Bud brought in some really nice, interesting stuff as well. So I mean, it's kind of between those two. I'm trying to think of what other DLCs were good. Hey, Landy. Can I please be a picture again? Kun DLC. Kun DLC is good, but it's a bit small for the game, I think, at this point. Well, that's the thing, Henrik. Like, everybody's gonna have different opinions on root crops, because, like, certain countries do more root crops than others. Arden tends to be, believe it or not, very arable. Tends to be more grains and, yes, potatoes. What about iTuner? That was useful, but I wouldn't exactly call it good. The worst was definitely that, that little milk float DLC they brought out in FS13 right at the end. It was just like, nobody uses this because nobody can come up with an actual use for it because it's so tiny, and no. JCB is probably the best for the British community. JCB and Kun together kind of were British DLCs. We'll put it that way. The JCB equipment and the Kun equipment were British equipment. Granted, you know, Kun's a German company. I think it was equipment kind of that would be mainly seen in the British market. I think that was. Hey, Michael. Linder was great for hilly maps. Yeah, but nobody played the hilly maps. Like, that's the thing. The Linder DLC was hilariously bad. Hello, Nathan. Your new map's looking nice, dude. I watched a bit of Chris's stream last night. That thing looks pretty nice. I can't make any comment on Valley View because I've been very bold and I haven't actually watched Landy's stream from Sunday. I haven't seen any of it yet. I haven't watched your video even, Dave. I'm really bad with maps at the moment. Platinum was a disaster. Platinum was a disaster, but they had some interesting stuff. But yeah, by and large, Platinum was a disaster for Giants. Just kind of fell flat on its face. It's a shame to see DLCs just falling flat on their face. It really is. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, feel free to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe as well. Join the RainbowDave Madhouse anytime, day or night. My lamp is being weird. And, oh, that's why it's being weird. It's because it's not clamped correctly. Here we go. How's it going? It's going good, Nathan. How's it going with you? Platinum will be in FS19 improved. That's why it's empty. Yeah, the platinum map was like the biggest letdown. The Bison Harvester, though, yes, Rafal, that I can get behind. I like old equipment like that, the old Soviet stuff, or the old Eastern European stuff, I should say. Resounding vote for Farm Sim. Yeah, I kind of expected that, to be honest. It's kind of as we expected. Pure Farming's releasing in a near dead or dead state. I can't really say I'm surprised. It was a game that was either going to be a resounding success or an abject failure, and it was probably going to be an abject failure. What new brands do I think will be at FS19? Ropa, Bison to a small extent, I would guess. The stuff that was in, yeah, we've both been saying it, Landy, like, as much as I wish it wasn't the case for any game. I hate saying it about games. I know that I sound like a really mean person when I say, oh, this game's down on arrival. I see so many games coming out and it's just like, you can tell by the way that they're marketing and the way that they're running things whether or not they'll do well. Pure was not running things well enough to do well. Especially not seeing as they were trying to take on Farm Sim. So it doesn't surprise me it's DOA. Yeah, I'm with Dave, Nathan. That map looks really good. But that's the thing, like, here's a fun little thing to know about games, and it's particularly true of games. The more ads you see for any given game, in any genre, whatever, the more concerned the developers are that it won't do well. So the amount Pure Farming was spamming, and almost every ad I had at one point was Pure Farming. The more videos, the more ads you see, the more worried they are. And the fact that Pure Farming has been spamming ads hard with everybody, and spending probably an astonishing amount of money on the adverts, just getting them on almost every farming video. Those developers must have kind of seen it coming 2 months ago, and you know, a long way out, that the game wasn't gonna do well, and they were worried. They were terrified the game wasn't gonna do well. Unfortunately, their worst fears came to pass, I think, and the game just isn't succeeding. It's failing. Have I got my wheel working? Yes, that's why you can't hear clicking. Makes you wonder how the devs managed to get that sort of money backing. Very simple, Bill. The publisher is a AAA publisher. It is, and the devs are actually owned by it. It's the guys behind Call of Juarez. I can't remember the name of their big game they've got running at the moment, but they've got a few different big games on the go. Hello, Farming Man. And they're clearly just taking some money from the games that are succeeding and poured it into Pure in the hopes that it would succeed. Farming games, Farm Sims 10 years. They are 10 years up on any competitive farming game trying to do it. Here's the thing, Farm Sim when it started was the... you know, Farm Sim was the alternative when it came out, because you had the AgriSim, which... And you'd several at one point. And while almost everything, including Farm Sim, at the very beginning was a hot mess, Farm Sim made the changes that it needed to make over time, and now it's the game that it is, the game that's pushing out beyond the farming community and the agricultural community, to just be a game that people play. Granted, most people play it. Well, yeah, there were gay Farm Sim games before Farm Sim came out. Sim Tractor. There's that French one that's like a browser game. Like, there's so many out there, and people just seem to think that Diamond uses the rope to move the slides to the realistic series. That's stupid. Nope, that's what it does in real life, Michael. That's what the arrow mouse is used for in real life. It moves silage. There was something else that I saw in the comments, but I can't remember. That's the thing. There was John Deere Drive Green, I believe, was out before Farm Sim as well. Dead Island is their big one. Yes! They do have another zombie game, Dave, and I can't remember what it is, and it's actually really successful at the moment. Farm Sim is a game that won't be replicated. It's not a sim or an arcade with a mixture. It's a simcade game, yeah. But the thing is, you can... Oh, I was wrong. Okay, thank you, Landy. Torment. I'm part of their mailing list. I should know this. I like get spammed with emails advertising crap that I don't want. Decided to join it to get pure farming news, and I just keep getting emails about this random zombie game that I have no interest in. Here's a fun little story for you guys. I didn't get into Farm Sim until FS13, and I actually, the first time Dying Light, thank you, Dave! I knew it was D something or other, but I couldn't remember what it was. The caps are surprisingly fitting, though. But I started playing Farm Sim in FS13. And the reason that I got into it is I saw Nerdcube's video on it, and I kind of got it as a joke. And then kind of, as I was making fun of it and kind of playing about with it as a joke, I realized I was playing more and more of it, and I realized that I was actually getting more and more realistic. So as time kind of went on, I was like, actually, I'm really enjoying this game. And that's genuinely how I got into Farm Sim. I got it as a joke. Do I like pure farming? It doesn't interest. I'll be honest. It doesn't interest me. There's not something in it that grabs me. And so it makes me think, ooh, I need to get this. Farm Sim kind of always has that because it's a known entity. I know that I'm going to enjoy some stuff. I know that I'm going to hate some stuff. It's just kind of the way that it works. What's my wheel setup? A Logitech G27. I'm considering getting some spring mods for it. Because I don't like how floppy the pedals are at times. But it's just a bog standard G27. You bought Farm Sim? I did the same, Addy Boo! And like, the most fun thing to do in FS13, and I'm pretty sure literally everybody who played the game did this, was to pick up the traffic, dump it in the middle of the field and watch a pathfind. And it annoys me so much that that traffic was taken out of the game. It looks too cartoony. That's really interesting. I think it looks pretty realistic. Like it's much more realistic looking than the likes of Pure Farming. I think Pure Farming looks very cartoony. I think most farming games that come out look like very, very cartoony. FS17 is a tenner on Steam at the moment, guys. If you don't have FS17, now's a good time to buy it. If it's £10 sterling, that's probably the cheapest it's going to be for a couple of years. Bill, people don't do demos anymore. I can give you the reason why. It's because of Steam refunds. Because now you can buy the game and you put your money up front. And if you don't enjoy it after the first hour or so, you can uninstall it and request a refund and you'll get your refund. So I mean, the game itself is the demo now. FS19 will look different. Yeah, it'll look way different. How's him? Is he okay? I haven't spoken to him since he moved. Landy is going to be the one who knows about Sim more than I do. From what I understand, he's doing fine. He's kind of mostly set up. He's all moved in. Sweet! John's released a new tutorial video today on the rope stuff. The comment section is just a joke. I can imagine. Unfortunately, the bigger you get in Farm Sim, and Giants is obviously going to be the biggest. Giants and Daggerwin, and I guess to a certain extent Sim. The bigger you, well, the more people you get in, the more fools you get in. That's just a general rule. And it kind of affects the quality of the comments. So any like big company, you'll have ridiculous comments every single time. It doesn't matter what community you're in. Everywhere you look, the more people you get together, the more fools you get. It really depends on how. Yeah. The comments can be a bit of a joke. I ignore the dumb ones. I reply to ones that are legit questions or have legit, like, things to say. But the people who are just slimy or just say, hey, great video, I don't really bother because... meh. But a Farm Sim 15 wheel, pedals are split in half. Yeah, the wheel and pedals... the Cytec wheel and pedals, yeah. I would not advise you get them. When I saw the prototype for that originally, I was like, oh, that'd be really interesting if it was made out of good materials, like if it was metal and leather and like reinforced instead of just some 3D printed piece of plastic. And then they brought it out and it was some 3D printed piece of plastic. And it honestly looks like baby's first steering wheel. The side panel, however, is really good. Is something that I actually want. That I think there are plenty of uses for in Farm Sim. You sent them back, yeah. The side panel is kind of different because it's a button box and it doesn't particularly need to be as hard wearing as a wheel and pedals. I mean, almost as importantly, I look like I'm in a blanket. I'm actually wearing a jumper. I'm wearing a jacket because it is quite cold today, and t-shirts don't exactly provide a lot of warmth. So I am wearing a jumper, and it does look because it's very fluffy. It does look a bit like a blanket, but I am wearing a jumper, or well, a jacket because the guy's zippy. This field is gonna have like 4 tram lines. Seriously? Snowing very hard in the east of the USA. Yeah, I heard there were severe winter storms over there at the moment. That's they're causing all sorts of problems. No wheel or pedal support. Seriously, that's dumb. I'd rate the game negatively with that kind of crap going on. What's a tram line? It's these things here. See the 2 lines of cultivated texture going down the field? Stand out really nice over there. They're basically the way that you drive around the field once it's seeded. They allow you to drive through the field without destroying too much of the crop. And they're used for when you're spraying crops, when you're doing stuff like that, when you need to come into the field and do work on the crops. Do I know the 2 Johnnies? I know of them. Hello, Fen Farmer. Get a Brian Davidson button box. I could do. There's a lot of different solutions I could go through to get a button box, including learn how to solder and make my own. Edward! Hello, Edward! Edward Scuppington! Chat's gonna go a bit mental because Eddie's arrived. Hello, Ninja Monkey Gaming! That is an awesome name. No multiplayer on launch. Is there... Because I don't have the game. Does anybody know if there's like a multiplayer option even in Pure Farming? Because I don't know. I don't know if they even plan on it. Is the thing. Major on, yeah, like... Soldering's easy. Yeah, I'm sure I could solder. I just don't have a soldering kit and I've never kind of started. Hello, RoboCycle. That is a pretty cool name, actually. I'm sure I could solder. It's just that I've not got the chance. I'm not sure there is. I don't think... I don't know if they plan on it, because... I'll ask, Landy! Landy kid! Are you here, Landy kid? Get up Pure Farming's mod. That was so hilariously bad. Oh my god, like make the model and then it's just like one button and it's in-game. Does Pure Farming have a multiplayer option in the menus? Because we're trying to figure out if they even plan on having multiplayer at this point. Or was that what the yes was for? Yeah, that too is like, hey look, you can have a ridiculous looking car. Yeah. See, Landy, these are the things you should have looked at already. School. We're gonna phone your. Why were they gonna ring your mum and dad about your physics work? Did Sim bring us? Yes, he did bring us Brody Knob, I believe. From what you found, no multiplayer at launch. Maybe later. Oh, yeah, that game's dead in a month. If it's not dead yet, it's gonna be dead in a month's time. No multiplayer in a game in 2018. What? No multiplayer. Oh my god. It's 2018. Like, we're ripping on Farm Sim because their netcode is bad and it needs improvement, yes. But at least it's there. Oh my god. How can in 2018 a game developer seriously think that a farming game doesn't need multiplayer? It is, yeah, I'm gonna call it, it's pure failure. They want 7 DLC in months. Well, they've already got 5 out on day 1 because all the pre-order bonuses. Hey, look, they're DLCs now, you can buy them separately. Gold Rush not having no MP. Yeah. I think that was just an oversight, though. I will be fair to Gold Rush. I think that was an oversight that they didn't. I don't think they intended the game to be as successful as it was. Or they envisioned it being as successful as it was. I know Fishing Barents Sea. That will be. Well, the second version, Fishing Barents Sea 2, will actually have multiplayer. That's something they've openly said is like. It's not something they can do with the game currently, but it's meh. It's coming. Eventually. I've not really looked at it, and I mean... This might sound a bit entitled. I didn't get sent a key for it. It's not a game that I'd want to buy. I'll look at it if they send me a key, otherwise, well, I don't see it doing any harm if I never see... You know, I never bother looking at it. I'll be honest. Because all I'm hearing is like things that are putting me off the game. It's a shame graphically preferring the season. I disagree. Wonder if we have to pay the access. Oh, good lord. That's the biggest failure of pure farming, is they market it as a AAA game. And it just... That's not how you market a farming game. Do I play ETS 2? Yes, I do. Today is, what, Tuesday? I will... No! Tramline's next pass fight. I will be doing... Exclusive news! I'll be doing a Euro Truck stream on Thursday. I'll be going back into Pro Mods. I think, unless it's broken again. I should be going back into Pro Mods on Thursday. Picking up from where I left off in the Pro Mod save. So I will be wearing my trucking cap. It's a big sprayer I have. It's a 36 meter sprayer, and I've got 36 meter tram lines getting set down. I worked out the logic of these tram lines, by the way, Landy. It is actually... It will actually work, because what it's doing is it's allowing for an overlap on one of the passes. Because I was saying to Landy last night, the 36 meter tram lines won't work properly because they don't allow for an overlap, but they do. Couldn't pack 36 meters per exactly, Farming Man. It's the sprayer I got on this map. My nose is itchy. Try make it on Thursday. Yeah, do. Make it again tomorrow. I'll be playing more Farm Sim most likely, unless by some miracle I get an amazing game sent to me overnight that I just need to stream. What map is Landy streaming? He's gonna shout at me because I'm gonna get this wrong. I think he said last night that he's gonna try and do Valley View today. He's gonna shout at me if I'm wrong, so he's probably gonna shout at me if I'm right. And Valley View is Dusty Dave's new map. Unless he's changed his plans since I last asked. A new one. Ah. Is it the one we were talking about last night, Mr. Landy Kid? Or is it a different new map? You're being vague intentionally, so I'm going to keep it vague. One sub shy, yes, and I guarantee you I will not get it before the end of the stream. That one. Ah, yes, I don't blame you. Do not blame you one little bit. As for the question, how much do I have done with my 5 litre drum? It's about half empty. It's half. Whoa! It's half full. It's a round drum, so it's quite difficult to pour. I'm gonna have to stop the tractor for a second. But do you want Robocycle? Oh, hey! Somebody actually subbed! That's gonna be a sub that's gonna go back into the annals of history. After the stream, no doubt. Is it Green River? You just duped! Well, thank you for duping. Thank you for subscribing. You're guessing it'll be empty on Friday? Possibly, yes. Shame we can't all get together as a modding and playing community and develop our own farming game, anyway that they've got the cash and resources. That's what Cattle and Crops is in theory, but in practice I don't think it's going to work out that way. Plus, being completely honest... See, I wasn't going to say that, Bill. Being completely honest from a non-sports car point of view... and this is no disrespect to modders, no disrespect to anybody. Modders are good at tweaking what already exists. The knowledge base needed to make a game from scratch is vastly different to modding. So I don't think that modders would be able to make a good game in a short enough time span for it to succeed properly. Like I think Cattle and Crops could potentially be dead by the time it officially reaches version 1.0. And that's kind of the concern there. Like, outside of any controversy that one or more of the members might have caused, is that it could be dead by version 1 just because it's been kind of going for so long. And I once described, and I'm going to stick with this, I once described the farm sim community, YouTube as a whole, as a group of people with ADHD who want you to do the same thing always, but never do the same thing. And that's like, as a group, that's what I see YouTube as, is like schizophrenic ADHD. It's it's so kind of frustrating at times. The microwave won't turn on. What if you knew physics, Eddie? It might. To build a game, you have to make your own game engine. Pretty much. There's one or two game engines that you can kind of piece things together pretty nicely. But yeah, by and large, you kind of have to... Building a game engine from scratch is not a viable option in 2018. Getting a license to use a game engine like Unity, which I know this because I've had experience with this. Unity is free until you sell 100,000 copies. So if you're only ever making a small game, you can use Unity completely for free. And if the game fails, well, you've only got like $100 into Steam, and if you've done it all yourself, well, that's all the money you've spent, unless you decided to buy Unity assets to modify or models to modify. Yeah, Farmer Man, if you don't want to upload to Giants, FSUK is definitely the place to go. That is the most... That is, like, other than Giants Mod Hub, the most trustworthy site for mods. And Russ has been doing some fantastic work on streamlining the upload process lately. Plus, I mean, if you do have issues, you can always hop into the forums and ask for help. Which I haven't done yet. Every single issue I've managed to come up, I've managed to find with my own map. I have found the solution already on the forums. I haven't needed to ask for help yet. Until I start doing building placements, like, how do I place the building in the way that looks good? Because I am terrible at this. Yeah, I'm with Bill here. I'm gonna ignore that advice myself. Well, depending on what the timeline for Donetsk is in like a month or two's time, I might ignore Bill's advice. I might use it, but primary aim is to get it onto ModHub and get it onto consoles. Donetsk, if I can. But the issue there is, I'm not an experienced map maker. And either way, Donetsk is not going to come forward into FS19. There will be no Donetsk FS19 yet. Foxtrot, I know exactly when I'm going to need help. I know exactly what my weakness is, and I know what the problem with the map is going to be. It's going to be optimization because I've not done any of it yet, and that's something that I will struggle with. But I know this going into it, so I know that I can talk to people who are willing to help people who actually will accept the help. I believe he's a lot more... I wouldn't be too surprised. Seasons mapping. Seasons, yeah, that might be an issue as well. I might have to comically convert my map into something else to get seasons working correctly. I bet Eddie made a microwave burger. Hello, VF. Have I thought of making any mods? Robocycle! I've literally just been talking about the map that I'm working on. And like, yes, it is cynical of me to constantly talk about my map in streams, but hey, it's advertising and I have a place that I can advertise myself. Shameless! Ah. So if you are enjoying the stream as I reseat myself because I was getting uncomfortable, if you are enjoying the stream, hit the like button, hit subscribe. We've got, what, 67 people in here right now. Let's see if we can hit at least 50 likes. And probably like 10 dislikes considering the stuff I've been talking about. When the game goes silent, I'm tabbed out, by the way. Ever got a Snapchat and just think, yes, everything from you, Eddie. So the new engine FS19 with giants. It's the same engine, Fen Farmer. It's just that they're tweaking the graphics engine. They're going to continue using Giant's engine. It's the graphics engine that's changing, which I believe it's changing from. And I might be wrong here. This is just what I can see from the screenshots and from my own knowledge. I believe it's changing from a DirectX or OpenGL based DirectX. It was in FS13, FS15, 100% OpenGL based. It's now OpenGL feeding into DirectX for optimization. FS19, I believe they're going pure DirectX. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Don't come to me at the start of FS19 saying, "Oh, Dave, it's not pure DirectX. You're wrong." I'm basing everything I'm seeing off screenshots and off the features that they're listing that will be new. Game engine affects physics. Yes and no. Here's the thing, is like, Giants are still using Giants engine, yes, but they've changed the graphics engine multiple times. They've changed the physics engine at least once. And technically speaking, they're actually not using the original Giants engine anymore, because a game engine is basically a graphics engine plus a physics engine. Now they've changed both of those, so is it the same brush? See you, Robocycle. It's like, it was a Trigger's brush in Only Fools and Horses, where he changed the head however many times and changed the handles however many times, and they were trying to figure out if it was the same brush or not. Like, that's the thing, is like, it's still Giant's engine. It's still the same base as it was back in FS09, but they've changed the physics engine, they've changed the graphics engine. And the game engine is a physics engine plus a graphics engine. So is it the same game engine? Giants need to update their log physics. Trigger's theory, yeah. But that's always an interesting question. Like, you change this so many times, you change that so many times. At what point is it new? At what point does it stop being the old thing? Like, you get we'll say a boat, a wooden boat, and you know, after 50 years you have to change out the wood in the hull because it's rotted out because it's been in water for so long. After another 20 years you have to change the wood on the decks because that's rotted out. After another 10 years you have to change the wooden masts and bits of the interior and whatnot. At what point does it stop being that original boat? Double Dave, you just realised, yes. There is occasionally Triple Dave when Oxy decides to show up and join in the fun. Is that going to be enough for headland? Yeah, there's going to be a headland there. So now I need to disable that. Let's start at headland or track number 1. When you get a non-1700s boat is when you get a new boat. Yeah. What is the control for this? Ridge marker right is Shift Z. Actually, it would be easier to use the left ridge marker and go around that way, wouldn't it? Hello, Tiger Dave. What is the best farm sim? The best farm sim is probably FS17. It's kind of funny, the different iterations of Farming Simulator have different strengths. Like 13's strength was the base of mods that it had. It was stunning for mods. Why do people use ridge markers? So that you can see where your next pass should be. That's why I'm using it here. I want to get the headland marked in now. So what I'm doing is I'm using a ridge marker to make sure that these passes are on the right places. Because I'm going to be using Proceed to put in a tram line for the headland, and if it's in the wrong place, then it'll look ridiculous. So that's why I'm using that's why I use ridge markers. You'll notice that it's rare and it's only for headlands. Being able to flip traffic was good in FS13. Yeah, that was one of my favorite things to do when I was a bit bored. Is just like go out and find some traffic and just ram it into a field somewhere, or flip it over, or pick it up and carry it halfway across the map, and just watch it toddle off and not give a damn about physics anymore. Because when the traffic was pathfinding, it just ignored physics. I've seen them. I have seen FS13 traffic that go up near vertical slopes, just because that's where the pathfinding said, "Oh, this is the right way to go." It's rare we have a triple Dave. Yeah, but he's not the right Dave. No offense, Tiger Dave. So I know that I am wrecking bits of the field here by using the ridge marker. I am fully aware of this. Don't think I don't know this. But what I'm doing is I'm marking out my headlands. Not gonna answer that question, WD. That's not not something I'm gonna answer. Let's not bring politics into the stream, please. Hey, Martin's Photographs, how you doing today, dude? Because bringing politics into the stream is just an excuse for everybody to have a big argument and everybody to get angry and me to lose subscribers and everybody to be unhappy, and that's not what I want. What do I think of the recent Snapchat update? That I will answer. That there's a reason that I don't reply to you on Snapchat anymore, Eddie. It's because I can't stand how Snapchat looks. I can't. It's horrific. I either don't know or I know everything. No, there is an in between. I know bits and pieces of various things. But I was talking to Landy about something last night. What was it? The Williams Formula 1 team, and he mentioned. He said, "Oh yeah, that Ayrton Senna wasn't the first driver that died in a Williams." I was like, I can't remember the name of him, but it did occur to me. Have I used the Ropa DLC? Yes, I started off the stream doing some potatoes. I literally just said to Landy, "Do you know what his name was? Because I probably know of him." Because I'm one of these people that just has this fascination with remembering racing things, especially Formula 1. Even though I've not watched Formula 1 for like 3 years now, because it's hilariously boring. What's my favourite show? At the moment, it is probably Young Offenders. That is amazing. It's on... I know it's on RT. I believe it's also on BBC. That is an amazing show. Not particularly PG, but The comedy in it is stunning. It is, it was the same fascination with Star Trek. Yeah. What you're seeing this year, McLaren may be able to compete. I disagree, Yanis. I think McLaren are in much the same position as they were this time last year. They haven't had enough testing time. It was only really the last few days of the testing that the car didn't break down too much, and they could get a lot of running out of it. This year is going to be teething problems for them again, because they're now having to get used to a new engine because Honda just wasn't working right for them. And it looks like, much to my annoyance and the annoyance of probably everybody, the Honda works really well in the Toro Rosso. Where the Honda works, which is the first surprise. But it seems to be a pretty good engine, and Toro Rosso seems to be a pretty good car, so wouldn't be too surprised to see Toro Rosso potentially getting a podium or two. Want to hear a physics joke? Is it your knowledge of it, Eddie? Isn't this lovely? I'm actually doing something vaguely realistic for once. He says the tractor comes to a near complete stop because there's a minor hill and Emor doesn't like hills. Mark Red Bull, Ferrari, Renault, McLaren, Haas, Toro Rosso, Force India, Williams, Sauber. I would say it is Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Haas, McLaren, Renault. Now Haas. Haas will be down near the back, so just iterating. Merc, Ferrari, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, McLaren, Force India, Renault, Williams, Haas, Sauber. Have I heard of Impractical Jokers? Yes, it's a program I can't really stand. But I don't see. I don't see McLaren doing all that well throughout the season. They're going to have a lot of teething issues with the Renault engine, which is underpowered. What am I eating? Oats. I think the biggest problem with Formula 1 is they're still stuck on this aero formula that they don't want to get rid of for whatever reason. And if they went to ground effects again, then Formula 1 would be faster and probably safer, because there would be less stuff flying around constantly, because there wouldn't be as much junk on the wings. Thanks for backing it. What? When did I do this, Rob? See you, Foxtrot. Good luck to the youth club. Giants. What did I say that backed you up? I was making jokes. I made a joke about modders and shiny things, which is true. Of way too many modders. Is like they start a mod, they finish it, and they give it to Giants, and then once it's released, they go, "Ooh, shiny new mod that I'm working on," and that's the end of that mod. Go to track number 2 now. Hello, Pedro. How you doing, dude? What I said to you in PMs stays in PMs, by the way, over on Discord. So I'm going to do actually track 4 after this, as silly as it sounds. Pedro's just immediately getting abuse from everybody. I'm doing good, I'm doing good, I'm doing good. Still need to find the leg of my computer. I actually need to get my computer out again and open her up again, because I found out yesterday that the front USB ports are being a bit wonked. They don't seem to want to work at the moment. Or 2 of them don't. Apple's Paradise got permission from that farm. From Welker? That's been known for a long, long time. Pedro scares you. Pedro should scare you. Come on, you're a T7. This is a new one on T7. It should be more than capable of doing this. Come on. Reasons MR could be better. This. Amboss, yeah, that's the, he is actually the, if I remember right, the marketing manager. Amboss on Giants Discord is the marketing manager of Giants. So, kind of interesting that he, has taken a personal interest in that. Gotta go because of the chickens. Fair enough, Eddie. Bring back the Rainbow Tank Tour. I can't, because it's not MR, Farming Man, and I can't be bothered making it MR. Yeah, most people have known they've had permission for quite a while, because it was like one of the first things that was said about it on FSUK was, hey, we got permission from, or we're working in collaboration with Welker Farms to do this. So it's, if it's a surprise to you, then you clearly haven't been following it. This is the joy of Proceed and actually wanting this to look really nice and realistic. Am I doing another pass after this? Yes, I do have to get the tramline pass in. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just abandon this for now. We only have about 10 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to... let's turn this off. I'll do that off camera after the fact. Let's go back over to the Valtra, or the T6 even. Oh, that was the T6 I had pulling... That might explain why I was struggling so much. That was the T6. Let's go back to the T7. Let's do a bit more potatoes, just to end off the stream. See you, Farming Man. Did I see the PDA for... Yeah, saw that a while back as well, Rob. Here's the... honest opinions on that Welker Farms map from what I've seen. It looks like it's going to be a really... nicely put together map. I'm not going to have any criticisms about the way that it works and the way that it's been put together. I am sure of that. However, playability is going to be the problem, because as much as the fields are square and whatnot, they're going to be huge, and that map isn't going to play very well. This is the problem. Like, you can make a map of anything, and it'll, you know, work for some people, and some people will love it, some people hate it. Welker Farms isn't going to be a map that is really particularly well suited to YouTube or people who are impatient. They're thinking of making a 4x version. That would be an even worse idea. The 2x is going to have huge fields as is. The 4x would literally be 4 times worse. That's the thing, is like, Adibu just kind of nailed what I was about to say. There is a fine line you can draw between realism and too much realism. And I appreciate that they're, you know, faithfully recreating the farm and being realistic with it and all this, but playability is going to have to come into it, and I don't think Welker Farms has playability. I think it's a lovely looking farm. I think it'll be a lovely looking map. But to actually play on is going to be painful, because you'll spend so long doing everything that you'll get bored of the game. And it's a map that should maybe have been... this is going to sound like a really odd thing. It's a map more suited towards the start of Farm Sim than the end of it. Because towards the start, people have that excitement for the game, and they're willing to kind of put a bit more time into maps than they kind of are now. Now is the time for the smaller maps and the kind of, I guess, prettier maps that have a lot more playability, because people are used to the game and they're kind of a bit bored of the game at the same time. So now's the time when people kind of start experimenting with new ideas and maps and new ideas and play styles and whatnot. So, you know, there's a balance that gets drawn throughout the lifetime of a farm sim game. It's very interesting to see that balance get drawn as time goes on. If you're new to farm sim, watch it through FS19. You'll see some of the same trends as FS17. The first few maps won't be very good because they'll kind of be rush jobs, and then you'll get a few maps that are really nice, but there's like problems because the mappers are still learning how the mapping works for the new game, and then you'll start getting the maps that are starting to become high quality, and as people get more and more used to it, and you know, you have the people who spend more time putting you know, learning how the game works, learning how the mapping works, learning how this works, learning how that works, talking to other people. As time goes on, the maps will get gradually better. I'm hoping the trend will be bucked, yes, but let's be fair, Bill. There's always going to be that trend, because not everybody is a top tier modder. You'll get the guys who just want to have the first map out, and it won't be very good. It'll be my sub count has been met, yes, but I get the distinct feeling it'll go back down after the stream. Although it has inexplicably just jumped after every stream so far that I've been back, which is interesting to say the least. Like, I think you'll buck the trend, Bill. I think Oxy will. But I think the trend will still be there from the majority of people, because you'll have the guys who are rushing their maps to be the first new map for FS19, and then you'll have the guys that are doing quick and dirty converts because this map was popular and I wanted to be out for FS19 as quickly as possible. Yeah, Lostburg was a clean map, but it was too clean. Like, it had problems in that, or for me at least, it had problems in that it was too clean of a map. It was too neat, too tidy, too clinical. It didn't, it didn't do it didn't do farming very well. It did screenshots and it did presentation very, very well, but it didn't do kind of an authentic farming feel all that well. It was too clean, too neat, too tidy, too... It looked like somebody had gone through when they were making the map with a brush and just swept any bit of anything that isn't neat. Just swept that away because that's the wrong button, Dave. Like that's usually a problem with kind of German and Central European maps, is that they're very clean and neat and tidy, and it's a bit overly so for somebody looking at them from Ireland. And he's on countdown. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, it's... I think it comes down to like what you're used to seeing in terms of farms. Because maybe in Germany, I don't know, I've never seen a German farm. I might look it up on Google Maps at some point. But the German maps always seem to have really clinically tidy farms and very little clutter. And then you have kind of Eastern European farms, Polish maps in particular are guilty of this, where there's maybe a bit too much clutter and it's just kind of a hot mess, but the textures are really nice. And then you got the UK and Ireland farms, which are kind of somewhere in between, with like a reasonably large amount of clutter in spots, but it's always just cluttered spots where everything gets thrown. It's the dumping pile. And you got places that are, I know, Chris, places that are like really neat and tidy, but there's dirt everywhere. I prefer the British and Irish style of dumping spots and like things being just kind of left to rust and dirt everywhere, but not like giant piles of mud everywhere. Just kind of generally cluttered. Yeah, it's kind of a balancing act, and Britain and Ireland has the middle ground. German maps tend to have one extreme, and Polish and Eastern European maps tend to have the other. It's just kind of something that I've noticed, which is kind of funny to me. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Head on over to Landy Kid. If you want, I did do a DLC spotlight on Ropa this morning. I put it up as soon as I could. It was up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, because I never sleep. David Richmond, you are turning up at exactly the wrong time, I'm afraid, because it is time for me to go. I will leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Oakfield Farm. Hope you enjoyed. If you're new, like David, and you show up at exactly the wrong time, I'll be live at 5 PM GMT tomorrow. It's currently 7 PM GMT on the dot. But until next time, stay safe and goodbye. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. Bye!